Okay, would you, if you're done filling those out, pass them that way. You know, like you go that way, you go that way.
We lost all of our base section.
Okay. The one of the big questions is always how in the world do you come up with a grade in chorus? And so I will take a minute or two to address that today. Okay. Essentially, be here, sing. Okay. This is not rocket science, it's chorus. Okay? Now, I actually quantify that. Okay? But it goes something like this. You're here at rehearsal, I enter 2 points. Okay? All the rehearsal points will add up to about 60% of your grade. And performance points will add up to about 40% of your grade. Okay? Performances, of course, are more. And I have to balance that out. The exact point value, you know, I want to balance it out so it comes out 60-40. If for some reason you can't be at a rehearsal and you have sent me an email to let me know you can't be at rehearsal, or you've talked to me about why you weren't there, then I enter 1 point. Okay, so you're not completely dinged if you're absent. If you just communicate to me why you weren't able to be here. Okay? If you don't come and I don't hear from you, then it's a 0 for that day. Okay, fair enough? Make sense? It's about communication, really. I'm not about issuing this whole long list of must be this way. The fact of the matter is, we can't be successful without having rehearsal and without having all of you rehearsal. Now, I'm sure you understand this from your past experience in other choirs. Okay? It just needs to be said out loud. Because if I don't say it out loud, then people say, you didn't tell us what you're reading. Okay, fine. This young lady over here is Dr. Lush. She is the band director here at MCC, as well as an instructor in many of her classes. And she wants to talk to you about...
So wait. You're saying the course is a real class with a real grade that expected you to get in? I have the same conversation with the band scheduled for tonight. I'm here to talk to you about the band. Hi, those of you I haven't met. MCC has a band. Very few people seem to know that, and I'm trying to fix that. One of the problems is it meets at night, and so people don't realize we exist. The band at MCC meets Monday nights from 7 till 9 in this room right here. If you play an instrument, if you have friends or enemies that play instruments, and you would like to invite them to come, that would be fabulous. You do not have to be a student here to be in it if you have friends or family members. The youngest person in the band right now is 14, and the oldest is old. I don't know. 80 plus. So, but very diverse group. There are some retired professionals in the group, some high school band directors from the area, also some high school students, and everything in between. We're about a third MCC students at the moment. We have 2 shows this semester. One is the concert with the chorus in April, and the other is graduation, which is also with the chorus, so you're already going to be there for both shows, right? So if you're interested, there are no auditions. Just show up. The part assignments are whatever you want to play, so you don't have to worry about being forced to take solos or getting stuck on third part all the time or anything like that. I will leave information up here in case you are interested in the piano paperwork.
Are we still desperately short of percussion?
We'll find out. I think we've got one more. We've got a piano major, so I'm assuming that's a percussionist. But yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
thank you.
Real pianists would say that a piano is not a percussion instrument.
We're not arguing that, we just don't know where it fits in the band. Or is it?
Okay. Hey, let's, do you have any questions about anything I've said so far? Okay. Let me just say this about my way of doing things. Okay? I will admit I get extremely focused on what I am doing when I'm in rehearsal. Okay? I'm really focused on the music and helping you learn it and get better with it, and I tend to at times get like a steamroller. I don't mean to be, but I just, get a little bit of tunnel vision, and I have to teach myself, always to. I'm not always very good at that. I'm not always very successful at it. Some of you that have been around here long enough know if you have a question, feel free to, send, big messages.
Like the one time the whole alto section.
Yeah. I do not mind that at all, if people are like, hey, we got a question. I do not mind that at all, okay? And it's not that I don't want to listen, or I don't want you to ask questions. I want you to ask questions. I just am ever mindful of the fact that we have 50 minutes. And that means we have 100 minutes a week, okay? Do the math. Most high school choruses rehearse 40 minutes a day, 5 days a week, right? That's a good average, say, right? So 40 minutes a day times 5 is 200 minutes in a week. We get half of that in a week. It takes us 2 whole weeks to get as much rehearsal time as many of you had in high school choruses. Okay? So I get really mindful about time. Okay? And I try hard not to waste your time while you're here. Okay? That doesn't mean there aren't times when I do back off, but if I get really intense, it's not because I'm angry or upset or anything like that. I just get really focused on what we're doing, and I want the best for you. I want the best experience. I'm already talking too much today.
No, it's not.
Any questions about this? Any questions? Okay. One of the opportunities that we have is that I have an ensemble. I haven't come up with a snazzy, catchy name yet. We have an ensemble. That's really generic. That's like saying loaf of bread. Loaf of bread.
Trying to find a place for it.
How about 7 grain?
That really sounds like a new band.
The ensemble. Whole week. Yes, ma'am. It is. Most of the time, it has been an a cappella ensemble, and I that's what I try to shoot for, an a cappella ensemble. It was a cappella last semester, and sing an eclectic mix of music. Last time we did a madrigal, the Silver Swan. We did a 50s doo-wop, Under the Boardwalk arrangement, and we did a vocal jazz standard, Autumn Leaves, with a beautiful a cappella arrangement to that. It was, you know, a lot of different things. And I say 10 to 12 singers, it really depends on the balance. I've had as few as 8, I've had as many as 16. Okay? It really depends on who auditions and what the balance is. Because it really is important to get the right mix. Okay? We will rehearse probably twice a week. It's usually before or after this rehearsal for like half an hour. Just how many of you could start a rehearsal at 11 o'clock? How many of you could stay after this rehearsal until about 5 to 1? So that's would be the times that seem to be the most convenient for people. Okay? Otherwise, and I have yet ever to do this, where I have the ensemble meet at a different time, totally, you know, like a Thursday night or something. Maybe at some point, when I audition ensemble. So I have this. I'm not going to hand this out to everybody, but this is the information about it. What you need to do is you need to schedule a time with me to audition. You have to prepare a piece of music. It will be sung a cappella. It can be any style, any song. You need about 16 to 32 bars. Okay, so that might be like a verse and a refrain or something. But what I'm looking for is, when you sing that, I'm looking for your sense of musicianship. How expressive are you with this? Are you just kind of singing through it, or are you really singing it to say something? And I'm listening for your sense of pitch while you're singing that, because it's a cappella, right? And I'm listening for your sense of rhythm. Okay? So, those kinds of things. I may take you through some scales and such, but usually I don't do that as much during the ensemble audition, because I will have already done it for most people. Because that's one of the things we're going to do as part of the chorus. I need to go through and listen for all of your voices, right? Any choral director that knows how to that directs a chorus, you have to know the voices that you have. Okay? Alright, so I will put these up here next to the band stuff, and if you're interested in either of those, when we're done, you can take that stuff, okay? Anything else? When we do music, things that we sing, music can be challenging in a couple of different ways. One way, it can be complex, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. It can have really dense chords and difficult rhythms. So it can be challenging that way. Music can also be challenging if all of that is really simple, maybe even just a 2 or a 3-part piece. But the music of it is challenging. The expressiveness of it is challenging. Okay? So I try to give a balance of all of those kinds of things in what we do. Stand up. Let's go back to the piece that we were looking at to begin with. Okay?